Broadcasting live from the Georgia World Congress Center. For Fintech South 2022, it's time for Atlanta Business Radio. Brought to you by Atlanta Blockchain Center. Now, here's your host.
Lee Kantor here, broadcasting live from Fintech South 2022 in the Georgia World Congress Center. So excited to be talking to our next guest, Saurav Bhandari with ArboHQ. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Well, I'm so excited to learn what you're up to. Tell us a little bit about ArboHQ. How are you serving folks?
So we are an accounting software and finance software for tech companies.
So what are these tech companies using if they don't have ArboHQ?
They are using maybe QuickBooks or Xero or whatever their accountant shoves them into.
And why is that a mistake? Why should they be using ArboHQ instead?
So just like any other thing, not everything is created equal. So all CPAs do not focus on tech companies. And we are a SaaS platform, so we have CPAs on our team, and I'm a CPA myself, who focus on tech companies.
So the unique challenges a tech company is facing and
Yes.
their unique needs.
Yes, from fundraising to getting their financials on time, ensuring they don't have shady stuff on their balance sheet or income statement. So all of that, because there are certain things that investors look for when they're analyzing whether to invest in you or not.
Right.
So we ensure their financials are up to date, they're reflected the right way, all of their cap tables are reflected the right way on the balance sheet. So that reduces a lot of the headache on the client side. And also, if you think, I'm going to talk to you about a story with one of our users.
Okay, so they were a startup.
They were a startup.
And then they went with ArboHQ.
They went with ArboHQ, yes.
So did they have a bad experience with the previous, another one of these other? Or
No.
or you got them early before they had any bad habits?
Well, we can say that, yes. And also, like when they presented during the due diligence phase, when they presented their financials there, and this is the email that I got from the investor, we've not seen a financial statement like this before.
In a good way.
In a good way. Because you get your general ledger, you get all the way to the transactions, the cap tables, everything in one Excel file.
And it's clean, it's up to date,
Yep.
and it's accurate.
Yep, and it's accurate. And the best of that is just not the accounting side, because when you talk to investors, you have to talk to them about your burn rate. You have to talk to them about your cash runway, right? What are your top 10 expenses, revenue trending, the growth, right? So all of that is readily available in the dashboard, in the executive summary that we have.
Because you've reverse engineered it for a startup
Yep.
to get investors, to show investors. So it's built for that environment. It's not something that you're taking something that was maybe an old school way of doing an accounting, and then now I got to take that data and then put it in this other thing to give to an investor.
Right. So this is the opposite way, where you just sign up.
You built this elegantly. So they just have to input the information the one time cleanly, then it's going to take care of itself.
Not even input. All you got to do is connect your bank accounts.
Yeah.
And just hands off.
Hands off. It's going to do all the heavy lifting.
Yep. Yes, sir. It's 90% automation that we have right now. And the 10% is more like tweaking around by the bookkeepers. So you get dedicated bookkeeping team and tax team for you. And we also have outsourced CFO services in case you grow. If you need that. Yeah.
But you don't have to start with that. You don't
have to start with that.
You can do it through a bookkeeper, just kind of basics.
Yep. Basic, and it's free.
Free
until you raise or until you start making revenue. So there's a precursor to it. So you can use the platform for free because we built it.
Right.
We built it the right way, the best way. And it's out there for free. So we're launching our mobile apps today, on both App Store and Android Play Store.
So it's in Google and Apple, in both ecosystems.
Yep.
and it's ready to go today. If you are a pre-revenue startup, you can just sign up, and then you can use this as you moving forward.
Yes, so you can sign up. So the sign up happens on the web app. So the phone apps, it's more like after you sign up, it's to get your dashboard and stuff.
Right.
There's still some capabilities that we need to build. At the end of the day, we're a startup ourselves.
Sure.
So we got to take it slow, whatever we can bite off.
Right. So this exciting time. So were you the technologist that put the code together, or you were kind of the subject matter expert as a CPA, or both?
So the beauty of it is I was both. So my previous background is with Home Depot on finance, accounting, and analytics. So I've been on the FP&A. So it's a decade worth of experience of mine as a CPA and in supply chain, all of this analytic stuff that I did for Home Depot and HCA combined into the platform. So it's just not an accounting platform, it's also an FP&A tool. So it has a built-in plan manager where they can review the budget and plans with their investors. And what that does is just keeps you in check. Sure. So you don't have to lay off 20% of your workforce next year.
Like surprise.
Yep.
Now, how has it been? Are you still at Home Depot now, or is this a side hustle, or are you all in on this now?
Oh, I'm like all in and more of it. So my life... everything is in it already.
So what was that transition like, going from a big corporate entity like a Home Depot for so long, and then now this is your own thing? This is you're in charge. The buck stops with you.
Yeah, it was. So with Home Depot, I was on a leadership position as well. So I had all of the responsibilities, but it was that itch. I've always wanted to build a software, and there were bigger problems that I could solve. But when I started getting into Atlanta Tech Village, and because I started as a side hustle, I started a CPA firm, which as soon as I got in, I realized, all right, there are issues with this industry. And it's a century-old industry, a $140 billion industry that has not been disrupted. It's currently going through disruption, but not a disruption that Arbo can bring.
Right, and QuickBooks isn't really a disruption.
QuickBooks is
it's a tool that maybe is an updated tool, but it's still kind of the same system, right?
Yeah, it's the same system. It's very slow. So one of the biggest thing that got me started on building the accounting software myself is because Amazon has been in existence since a long time now.
Right.
And you could not integrate Amazon Marketplace with QuickBooks until 2021. Can you believe that?
And that's probably over 20 years that Amazon was in business before that happened.
Exactly. Now they've figured out and started doing things a little differently, but it's a pain point for the CPAs themselves to use. But they don't have any other options. They have the second option is Xero, which is the UI is, I'm not a big fan of their UI. Mm-hmm. So there's no hands-off approach. There's one approach, which is Bench. So Bench is our closest competition because it's so instead of DIY, they focus on DIFM, which is do it for me. So we're taking the similar approach with our software. But Bench is, again, it's just like QuickBooks. It's for small business. It's for
it's not specialized into startups.
Yep. It does not specialize on tech startups. And it does not do accrual accounting. Mm-hmm. And you have another closest competition is Pilot. But Pilot is super expensive because they've already grown. They don't care about startups.
Yeah, and I'm sure you can't start for free.
Exactly. You cannot start with Pilot for free. It costs an arm and a leg. And they do not have their own software. They just have a fancy UI on top of QuickBooks, which isn't actually disrupting the company or disrupting the industry.
So now if somebody wants to learn more about ArboHQ, where do they go?
They can go to arbohq.com, see for themselves. We have a screenshot of what the dashboard is going to look like. It's going to look like the same or even better once you log in because it takes time for us to update the front landing page. Or they can check us out in App Store, hopefully by end of this week because we launched it. It takes some time for it to go through the app stores. But web app is completely functional. It's fully functional, secure, no issues there. And they can also reach out to me on LinkedIn, connect with me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, no Facebook. because we clearly realized at first, like, our market is not in Facebook.
Sure.
So
And
we're not
look,
in Facebook.
If you're a pre-revenue startup, there's no reason not to check you out, right?
Yes,
like every pre-revenue startup should be checking out ArboHQ.
Exactly. And it's for free. You
Right.
cannot beat that. Nobody in this world can beat that.
Right. All right. So that's ArboHQ.com to learn more.
Yep, it's ArboHQ, which stands for Arbo Headquarters.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story today.
Thank you so much. Thank
All right.
you for having me here.
We'll be back in a few at Fintech South 2022.
This episode has been brought to you by Atlanta Blockchain Center, the catalyst for Atlanta's emergence as the premier blockchain innovation hub globally, through cultivating entrepreneurship, inclusivity, and education. To learn more, go to atlblockchaincenter.com.